والسر ده ولا الانجليزي ده ولا عن
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Turkmen Agriculture University is here, and we are waiting for the second seminar on how to enter Times Higher Education ratings. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Turkmen Agriculture University is here, and we are waiting for the second seminar on how to enter Times.
So
Oh, building this one.
oh.
See?
İşleri kadar ben.
Ai пойдет. Ай, тоже продолжение.
Yeah, do you mind the breakdown what is that? Oh, we have it up, so, yeah. I use it, and you can break them into breakout groups on Zoom if you want to do that. The focus group is here. Yeah, but they could see here. There is a Sorry, I think there's a mechanism on Zoom, obviously I can't read it, that has breakout groups and it does it randomly. Or you can preset it up, or you can do it randomly, and you can set up how many you want to see for. And then they're in a group, we can ask them to do. It might be different countries. Because you've got different places, but they could do that.
It will be a breakout session one, yeah? Is
Um,
that or the
No,
second
we
one?
will do the second one.
The second.
Yes, yeah.
Sunt группele больше пласмă. Din randonului
On Zoom, breakout session. It's called breakout room.
Sesiunii zală.
Интересно.
Yeah,
Niște grupuri.
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Niște
so there's 54 people, so you'd want at least 5, so you have
5
10.
groups.
Yeah.
Ești tăpărit.
No, that's, yeah, 5, yeah. And there's a random selection? You
They
said,
will select themselves or?
no, do a random,
Okay, we should do it, yeah?
yeah,
Назначат рушную колик.
might be a bit. Yeah, maybe we should tell them what we're doing first, before you do that, because it'll happen automatically. So if you just leave it like that. And then it'll be about 10 people in a group. So they will be mixed up in the group?
Yes.
That's okay?
Just a moment.
Okay. Okay, so. Yes.
So, Assalamu alaikum. We are really glad to see you all here once again, yes. Today there will be much more interaction. We will discuss what we have learned yesterday. There will be like introduction stage. And the breakout section, if you have enough, we can start. But yesterday only one question we have discussed together. And there are 2 questions will be left.
How the people online going?
Yes, we have. And we will start breakout session 2, but still we will discuss 2 questions which will be left for breakout session 1. Okay? And I think how many groups we will need? 3 groups, yes? Okay. And some questions if they have from yesterday's, it
Yeah,
will be
yeah,
after the
I'll
end,
explain, yeah.
Okay, so that is.
Oh, no, that's okay. Okay. Hi, so, well, that's me, but we're going to work on this, breakout session 2, which is about strategic issues, how what is talking about, what is your university mission? And how you might pay attention whether or not, to what extent rankings might help you with that or not. The second.
Sorry, it's not good. They're not listening.
Oh, yeah, where is the microphone?
Should you wait for Mike?
Yes. Yes, I will wait.
Let's respect.
Okay.
They're with us.
Yes.
Otherwise you need to repeat.
Yes, no, because they're going to be involved.
When they are online now.
Yes. we could use breakout sessions with them. From.
Kami taga-Madrid sa
Is there a microphone?
Yes, it's not.
Maybe.
Okay, fine, and just for the people to introduce.
Yes, yes, okay,
So let's start. You should start from yourself, then me,
okay,
and then we will go.
okay,
It would be nice for the network.
yes, I agree entirely. I had meant to do that. Thank you for reminding me. So good morning, everybody. We're back for the second day. Good morning. I think it would be nice, given that we're in this room and we're reminded, is to introduce ourselves. We do have 50 people online, which is excellent. Yes, more than we would ever have in my country on a second day. So that's excellent. And we'll go around the room here and just brief introduce ourselves. So I'm Ellen Hazelcorn. I live in Dublin, originally from the US. You hear a bit of accent, but I live in Dublin 50 years. I've worked a lot in higher education policy. I was a consultant to the OECD. I was myself a vice president at my institution for 20 years. And then I advised my government on many issues currently around TVET and also on a tertiary education system. And what that might be, I advised very high level with the European Commission. So as I said, I worked about 9 years as a consultant to the OECD, which is, I initiated the first project on rankings in 2006. But I do other things. And I also have currently, I'm working also with the World Bank. I do a lot of work on quality assurance. I was on quality assurance board in Iceland for many years. And I also work a lot with UNESCO. So I have a lot of very UNESCO projects, including EHCVET in Africa and also now setting up a quality assurance system in the Caribbean. And one of the countries in the Caribbean for UNESCO. So lots of different projects that I'm involved in across the spectrum from TVET to higher education, policy, research and innovation, and so on. So civic engagement, regional development, and lots of different areas. So I'm delighted to be here.
Good morning, Assalamu alaikum. Actually, it's quite difficult to represent myself after such a start. But really, the whole higher education community of Uzbekistan is lucky to have you on board for the 2 days and welcome everybody to the second day of the seminar. We are pleased to see the ministry people with us and personally, Georgia Kumara. I'm Aziza Abdurrahmanova. I'm from the National Erasmus Office, which is at your full disposal for any questions, for any clarification. And so let's continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
So very briefly, do we have? So we should wait for the mic.
Okay, but it's come. Name and where are you from?
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be a part of this lovely conference today. So let me introduce myself. My name is Eri, and I'm a specialist for international cooperation at Andhra University. Our university is still young university, which was established.
It will be too long.
So,
So again, name and where are you from?
Yeah.
That's all.
sorry, Eri, from Andhra City. I'm a specialist for international cooperation at Andhra University.
Very good. They have Andrea with us.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Natalia. I'm the head of the International Office of Samarkand State Architecture and Construction University.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Layla and I'm from Tashkent State Transport University and I'm responsible for international rankings. I'm working as head specialist. She's my colleague.
My name is Abdul, and I am head of international ranking department of Tashkent State Technical University.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Bahadur. I am head of International Office and International Islamic Academy of Science. Thank you so much.
My name is Komoda Hakim, on the White University, International School of Science and Technology. I'm from International Office, and they are my colleagues.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Gulasan. I'm from Michigan University.
Hi, my name is Ali. I'm from National University of Uzbekistan.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. My name is Migzad and I'm from Uzbekistan State World Language University and I'm responsible for international rankings.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Subhat Usmanova. I'm higher education reform expert, and I'm from Samarkand Institute of Economic and Services, Doctor in Marketing.
Assalamu alaikum. Ilham Abdurrahmanov, Tiamen National Research University, head of International Ranking Department, higher education reform expert.
Good morning. My name is Wana Salamba and I work at the National Erasmus Plus Office and I'm at your disposal for questions regarding Code 2025. Good morning. I am Asiya. I'm a member of the National Team of Higher Education Reform Experts and head of IT department at NOHOS, the making of Kazakhstan IT University.
Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Zior. I'm head of National Rankings Division at Ministry of Higher Education, Science and Innovations.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mahmoud Jawad Kulur. I'm working at the National Erasmus Office in Uzbekistan as a project manager.
Assalamu alaikum. I think you know me, but anyway, I will introduce myself once again. I'm Vice Rector of International Cooperation at the Doctor of Science and Professor, and the team are here as well.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. I'm very honored to see you all here, back for a second day, fresh and ready to work. This is always good. And welcome to everyone online. I'm really impressed that you are all with us today. And we're going to include you also in this exercise, in this breakout session. So we'll explain in a moment. So today we're going to we'll continue the discussion around strategically using rankings and or other methods and instruments and how, and in terms of looking strategically at the issues that are important for your universities and or for the government, the same questions apply. And so this one, which is on page, it says breakout session 2. So essentially what we'd like is we're going to break up here into probably 3 groups. I'm just looking briefly as to how many numbers we have, but we'll try 3. And online, I will explain how we're going to break out as well. There is a mechanism, you're all on Zoom. There is a mechanism on Zoom that you will be formed into breakout rooms. It's a bit like you fade into the ether and then you end up in some other room. I've used this in classes teaching, so I don't know if many of you have used it. It's really quite a good idea, quite easy to do. And we're going to divide you into these groups and for the same sets of questions. And then we'll bring you back in as a total group. So you won't be left out in the ether somewhere. You'll end up back all together online, but we won't do that yet. Okay, we'll wait till we have, so what I want you to do, yeah, oh, okay. This is better. Sorry. Okay. Okay, how's that? Better. Okay. This is good. So the questions are kind of set off in an order. You know, what is your institution trying to achieve? What type of institution are you? What are you trying to achieve? How is your institution going to try and meet its goals? What are your goals and how are you going to try and reach them? So, and would rankings help you in that regard? And if so, how? And then the question is, how does your institution know institution broad term for university? How do you know your strategy is working? So how are you going to measure and assess it? And this is where I'd like you then to bring in the part that we didn't come back to yesterday, which was about your choice of indicators. So how useful are certain indicators in helping you to assess your programs? And these are the indicators we were discussing yesterday about issues of the whole list here about entry scores, international students. None of the above and other things you might think are more important. So don't be stuck with those indicators, because the other question is consider alternatives. And then the final question is what are the advantages and disadvantages of using rankings for your strategic purposes? So we're going to constantly look at strategy, mission, purpose, orientation, and the role of rankings and the extent to which they can help you and how. Okay, so we're going to now form into the breakout groups. We're going to do that automatically online and hope that will work. You will be randomly moved into different groups. We're dividing the numbers into 5 different groups. Thank you very much. You will disappear into the ether and end up in another room, as it's called. And in this room, we're going to see can we move people. So one group over here, if you just move the chairs around yourself, this corner there, one group, and another group maybe 4 over here. And I'm just thinking, and another group out there, just over there. Okay, so you can randomly move yourselves. Okay, so if we take these tables here, go upstairs. Okay. Very much. Yeah, so
one group can do discussion here.
So third group is following.
Yeah, third group forward, yeah. There you go. And we'll give you about 20 minutes. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then if you come up here, it's if you come over here and you gentlemen come over to this side. Yeah, so you all sit around here and then we put. So we'll give you about 20 minutes. Okay, so you have 20 minutes. Yes, yeah. So I think you can send a message up there. You can send a message. Yeah, you send the message that you want to do this. If you would like to communicate something online. Yeah, just so. Okay, so there's a message you can send to all the group and just tell them that they have about 20 minutes. You have the second one, yes. Okay, it's not homework. If you could
Well, they have different options,
Yes,
different
yes,
answers.
yes.
One is like it, yes, let's say there are different representatives from different universities. But anyway, the answer can also be.
So everyone is coming back into debate and they're coming back from the breakout session? Yes, okay, they're all welcome back from your breakout sessions. I hope that worked well online. And we're just assembling here. My apologies, I had the wrong agenda, so we're going to catch up on where we're supposed to be. But we'll have some feedback. And I'm going to keep you all very short as opposed to going through in great detail because we want to also have time for a general discussion. So we'll have each group. And if you could give us an overview of the kinds of issues that you discussed, where there might be differences, or where you learned something new, but also the issue, which is at the end of that set of questions, is are there risks and unintended consequences? So this is always an issue of for policy people that don't even when you're looking at introducing a strategy. What are the risks? If we do this or if we don't do this, there's always risks. And what are the unintended consequences? What are the things that you're looking around the corner and might come back to bite you, as I like to say. So what might those be? So we'll start with this group here. We have a spokesperson. Oh, here.
So, let's start. So, what is your institution trying to achieve, and how is your institution trying to meet its goals? I will answer. Is the question, the vision of our university is to become a world-class university by achieving the fast results aimed and contributing to society through education and research at the international level. Also, as a university leader, we try to achieve the several goals: improve global reputation, attract international collaboration, increase international students, enhance research impact, sustainability in the infrastructure, accreditation, and program quality. For example, increasing international student enrollment, it means a strong international ranking often makes the university more attractive to international students, fostering a diverse campus. And also, attract international collaboration. Higher rankings can help attract partnerships with the prestigious institutions, opening doors for research collaboration and faculties or student exchange. And also accreditation and program quality, align academic programs with international standards, securing accreditations that are crucial for credibility and the long-term success. And for the next question, how does your institution know its strategy is working? For example, in Uzbekistan and in higher education system, we have PPI, and we all try to reach the target. We should try to work in the SDG targets. And also employability, international rankings, accreditations, and the commercialization of research output. And the next question, what's the advantages and disadvantages of using rankings for education purpose? For the disadvantages, we have artificially increasing quality of education. And for the advantages, if we build or work like the university or educational institution as mentioned in SDG, it will be beneficial for all. And that's all.
Thank you. We'll have a big discussion hopefully at the end, after we've had our next speakers. Thank you, thank you. So then we have group 2. Who was over in this corner? That's yourself.
Because I have a neck pain looking with. So we had pretty much the same ideas about the 4 questions provided in here, but we tried to highlight some of the things that probably our guest is like missed in here. So what is your institution's mission and strategic objectives? So we counted around 5 different strategic objectives, which are academic excellence, infrastructure and facilities, community engagement, quality assurance, promoting innovation and entrepreneurship. So for the question number 2, how is your institution trying to meet its goals? What are your institution's goals? So they are almost pretty much the same as the strategic goals, but we could say like they are like sub-strategies. Like under each category, we provided here 5. For example, academic excellence. So we have a range of goals under the umbrella term academic excellence. Let's say this could be the education quality, it could be the research output or more. Infrastructure and facilities could be like research labs or libraries or like new facilities for students to play sports. Community engagement. For example, last time we had some group of guests who came from Malaysia. So we really liked some of their initiatives in their community. So they're teaching the prisoners like different skills so that they will not be unemployed after they are out of the prison. So this will be one of the goals. Quality assurance. So it could be like it could apply to almost all aspects of the education. And entrepreneurship innovation. So recently we launched our new entrepreneurial institute in our private university, where we will teach our students different types of business projects, after which they will develop their own business ideas and implement their ideas in the country. So for question number 3, how does your institution know its strategy is working? There are a range of rubrics, measurements like here. So someone has before mentioned, we have like KPI system, key performance indicator, or let's say, so one of our here like team members said some universities are calling internal auditors to check how they are working. And so question number, yes, the next question, should rankings be used to set targets or measure achievements? Are there alternative instruments or initiatives that could be used? Well, of course, rankings cannot be the only way of measuring the education system's quality, because there are more aspects that the rankings like must be missing, right? So like in all types of standardized tests, rankings can also be like cannot be perfectly fine. So they also have got some disadvantages, which could be, which I can mention in question number 4. For example, rankings, from my perspective, they usually, perpetuate the small institutions who are not achieving their, goals prescribed in the ranking systems. There are lots of small private or public universities who are doing their best to achieve the best education quality, but they are not in top ranks. And when parents or students are choosing universities to go to, so they usually look at the top ranked universities. But maybe, there are good universities who are not mentioned in this category, you know. So it could be one reason. Another thing would be like types of ranking, you know, so QS so many more types of, you know, rankings can be quite confusing because of their, you know, like methods of measuring how these universities, how these institutions, you know, like measure the quality system. So it could be pretty much confusing. So QS has a different strategy, and some other types of ranking systems have different strategies. So that's it.
Can you introduce yourself? Because yesterday we didn't see you.
Yes, so I was in the office yesterday. My name is Ozod Kurmanov. I'm from the International School of Finance and Technology, which is a private university based in Tashkent. We have 3 campuses in Tashkent, 1 campus in Samarkand. I am the international relations specialist. So here I am with my 3 more colleagues who are from the strategic department and also my department, international relations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and our last group here in the room, we're sitting out there. Is that yourself? Oh, yourself. Okay, there we go. You have to, here's the mic.
Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to see you all. Very excited that you have organized such a beautiful seminar, workshop. This is very practical. We are exchanging ideas with each other, seeing what other universities are implementing so that we can learn from each other. So it's a great opportunity. Thank you all. Regarding the questions being asked, what is your institution trying to achieve in terms of the mission and strategic objectives, and how our institution pays attention to the rankings to inform our strategy? So as I represent Westminster International University in Tashkent, in the International Rankings and Sustainable Development Officer, yeah, this is what the tasks I'm implementing at university. The overall mission at our university is twofold, which is research and teaching. So in the teaching is to make sure that we excel at teaching, yeah, to provide most high quality, up-to-date teaching courses. And at the same time, research is making sure that we bring up more and more research potential within our overall country, yeah, showing the real issues, problems, policy objectives, so that the whole country, policymakers should pay attention to. So this is one of the main strategic objectives. Regarding the second question, how is our institution trying to meet our goals? So, for example, we on a daily basis, literally every day, we make sure that our policies are implemented well. Yeah. So, for example, every month to the rector's discussion, we bring different ideas, different activities that can be implemented the next month. Yeah. For example, one of the I have shared in the group as well. One of the activities or the things that we have implemented aspects was the boxes. Yeah. So each classroom has specific box. For example, if the teacher does not need the paper anymore, or the students have used their papers, they can put all the papers in that box. Yeah. So in that way, we are making sure that waste management is done well. Yeah. There are other recent implementations that we have done so far with the help of our department. For example, this summer, this year, all of the courses, all of the modules have been reviewed to make sure that at least one seminar is dedicated to SDG. Yeah. So if you open up now any module, whether it is in the mid-semester, at the beginning of the semester, or at the end of the semester, the module considers specific SDG in relation to that subject. For example, if the subject is on the energy law, Yeah, so definitely there's energy aspect. The SDG 7, 9 that are covered. This is the good implementation, I would say. Our presentations also have it. How does your institution know its strategy is working? Once again, this is what our department does. So by surveying our teachers, our students, colleagues, yeah, together their ideas, together their feedback. This is what we do in terms of monitoring. Although currently we're thinking of other advanced tools such as data analytics, yeah, so somehow reviewing data, not just solely relying on surveys. But so far we are just relying on surveys, asking the feedback of our colleagues, students, staff members to show whether we are actually achieving our goals or not. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using rankings for strategic purposes? I like the presentations in terms of how the rankings can be used to assess the pluses and minuses in terms of aligning to our strategy. And one caveat is that we could solely rely on rankings, yeah, which somehow may not be the effective management, yeah. So this is one way of achieving goals, but what's important is to make sure that we align to the overall strategic mission and objectives of the whole university. Thank you very much. This is from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I know we have another speaker, and I just want to turn to the people online who are also in breakout and ask if there's anyone online from the breakout groups you are in that you would like to contribute to this discussion. Anyone put up their hand?
Sorry, can you hear us? We're in Zoom.
Dear participants of the Zoom, can you hear us? Please make it raise a hand, or you can just write in the chat. Yes.
Yes. Okay, you can hear us. Would you like to contribute? Is it Farouk? Okay. Well, all quiet, all good? Thank you very much for being here. We'll continue our discussion and hope that someone would like to contribute. I don't want to call on people, that's a bit scary. It's a bit intrusive. Okay, thank you. Right, so I realize we're running late. As usual, my fault here. So let's have our next speaker, and then we'll have a general discussion at the end and bring everything together at the end of this. So do you want to, Missy, do you want to introduce our speaker? Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so thank you so much for really interesting, there was a different opinions, yes? And exactly all representatives we have shared with your subjective and objective evaluation. And I think at the end we will do discussion, a round table discussion. Okay, so right now we have one more education expert, yes, Akram John Aktamov. He's the head of International Relations Department of Tashkent State Technical University. He will speak about effective strategies for increasing the position of Tashkent State Technical University in the international ranking of US and times higher education, experience and process.
Hi, everyone, one more time. So, dear colleagues, partners and guests. So, my name is Dr. Marcano, and I am head of international ranking and accreditation department and TSU at Tashkent State Technical University. So, I'm delighted to welcome to you today's event and dedicate to discuss strategies improving our university's position in international ranking agency. So this is an extremely important topic for CHAS. So as international recognition open the new doors, new opportunities for both universities and every students, faculty, and researchers. So international ranking is not only determine the status of the university on global stage, but also help us to enhance quality education, improving research, and develop global collaboration. So Tashkent State Technical University has achieved significant success in this area over the few past years, but even more ambitious growth ahead of us. So today we'll discuss our achievement and challenges for future plans, and most important, outline concrete steps for future growth. So I'm confident that through our combined effort, we can rise our university to a higher position in the global ranking and make it an attractive destination for top students and researchers from around the world. First slide, please. So, first slide is introduction. So, Tashkent State Technical University is actively working with improve its position in the attractive global university ranking, such as the QS and Times Higher Education. And this ranking play a crucial role in the increasing international recognition, helping attract students and research and partners. This report about highlight TSU and current achievement and future plans. Why are ranking important for universities? International ranking agencies such as QS and Times Higher Education are among the most inclusion. So higher ranking provide a global recognition, making university more attractive to foreign students, faculty, members, and international partners. So and investors. Being ranked also opened up opportunities for receiving grants and funding from both governmental and private sources. So this ranking evaluates various criteria, including the quality of teaching, research, and international cooperation, which help universities continuously improve their standards. So our current position in international ranking, as you can see, TSU holds position in the QS Asia ranking among the 500 top universities in the world, and QS Sustainability ranking is among the 1,100 position, and Times Higher Education ranking, holding impact ranking such as 800 and 1,000. So this achievement has been made more possible through improvement infrastructure, international relation, and quality of education. Further growth in the ranking is anticipated due to the increasing in scientific publication and international projects. The collaboration project and scientific research. TSU collaborate with over 10 prestigious foreign universities and offer double degree program in various fields. For instance, the university is working with North China University of Technology on program computer science and information technology. In recent year, TSQ has published more than 400 scientific articles in prestigious journals indexed by the Scopus, and this publication receiving more than 800 citations from international ranking. So strengthening the university global scientific reputation. Modern laboratories and innovation. So TSQ is heavily investing in creating laboratories with Chinese and local investment. This includes this before. Yes. 10 kilowatt solar photovoltaic system from China company, and we work with a supermarket company, with Chinese company, and this innovation support TSQ key research area such as renewable energy, information technology, transportation infrastructure, and biotechnology. International accreditation and expanding academic ties. So one of the TSQ key strategy is obtaining the international accreditation for educational program in engineering field. So accredited by reputable organization like as ABET, AXA, and TSQ enhance its appeal to international students. Additionally, TSQ actively participate in academic mobility programs like as Erasmus Plus, enabling students and faculty to exchange knowledge with international colleagues and fostering global collaboration. So, continue improving its position in global ranking. Still focusing on strengthening interaction with international ranking agencies such as TS, Times Higher Education, and QS, increasing the number of scientific publications in higher ranking journals, and attracting international students and solar by creating favorable conditions such as scholarship and exchange programs. Expanding international ties and participate in large research projects like as Horizon 2020. So next slide, please. Yes. Challenges and obstacles for Central Asia universities. So, and Central Asia universities, including TSQ, face several challenges in improving their international standing. So, first of this is a lack of funding. So, limited budget, hindered infrastructure development, talent attraction, and research funding. So, second one is limited academic network. Insufficient partnership with leading global universities and research funding, low publication activity. There is a lack of representation in global scientific database like as Scopus and Web of Science. Next slide. Recommendation for improving ranking. To strengthen TSQ position in global ranking, it's recommended to you to increase the visibility of research through joint project with international universities, publishing in high impact journals indexed by Scopus or Web of Science. Actively participate in international conferences and forums to build academic network and enhance reputation. Next slide. Conclusion, TSQ has made significant improvement in research, internationalization, and education quality. It's actively participate in QS and THE, ranking boost the university prestige in global. So moving forward, TSQ has plans to increase its publication activity, expand international academic ties, and participate in global scientific events, further strengthening in ranking position. Next step is boost publication activity and citation rates in international database, enhance international academic collaboration, and implement joint projects, and increasing participate in global conference and forum to build strong academic reputation. So, to conclude, is to invite international scholar and international collaborate our joint project to achieve goals and education. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Some questions, audience?
Any
questions?
Feedback, comments?
I have one question about spin-off companies. As it's a technical university, yes, it's, I think, especially the last presidential, there was a session, yes, and I speak a little bit louder. Right now it's a urgent, let's say, task, yes, especially for technical universities or engineer, the specializations which are based on engineering, on exact, yes, let's say, sciences. They have to develop their dual program, yes, and there are so many gaps, and the president stated in his speech. So can you exactly share us what exactly were being done in that field? Spin-off companies, something related which fixed the students' practical appliance, yes, of the skills.
Thank you for the question. So, first of all, everyone knows that recent in this year, our president meet with our rector and our profession, so to improve our universities and so we have the new strategies for the improve the engineering field in Uzbekistan and also improve the skill of the professionals in this science. So first of all, the making to improve the practical field. How can we do this? So first of all, we are our students more working with practical science, not only the theoretical. So they go into the production, they go to how can I say internship and I think key factor is improve the engineering field is working with the industry first of all. So I think when we improve the practical industry field, we can reach this strategic. Thank you.
In this point, a small comment. So, in this year, 25th of October, so National Reference Office and the Ministry, and on behalf of the whole peers, we'll have the cluster meeting. This topic is also related to the engineering and university industry. So this is also, I think, very important topic for all of us, and we would like to invite all of you to join this cluster meeting. So thank you.
Within Polytechnic University. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, do you want to have a break now?
Yes, I think right now coffee break, then
and then we will have a general discussion at the end. Thank you.
So, 15 minutes break, okay? Then we will come back for Zoom, our listeners. 15 minutes break, then we will come back.
Evet. Ondan gidip sonra.
Sorry. Right, okay, we will, is that on? I'm sorry. So, hello, welcome back. This is our last session and welcome to everyone online for sticking with us. And to all of you. So I thought this would be useful. We haven't had a lot of time. We've had the breakout groups, we've had a lot of discussion, but maybe some discussion as a group about some of the issues you discussed in your breakout sessions and other Q&A, question and answer type things, and other kinds of strategic issues that you might want to discuss. You notice I'm always working at the kind of strategic or policy level. I expect that is indicative of the fact that I operated at a senior level in the university for many, many years and working with governments and other universities. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from. I think some of the issues and that you discussed and brought up this morning about the importance of rankings as a way to attract international students, about reputation, about making partnerships, and so on. These are all hugely important issues to do. Academic excellence, I think, underpins it all. And then there were also discussion about the kinds of challenges faced in achieving what you're looking to achieve, about infrastructure, about resources, about attracting faculty, attracting students, faculty, even your staff, and the quality of your staff and your research outputs, but also outcomes, and academic quality, quality assurance. I was struck by that, and then I'm struck by this very extensive and detailed decree from the government, which has, well, a huge range of issues. I mean, a huge range of issues to tackle and to achieve. And in between there, it mentioned we're going to get X number of universities in the top 100 or whatever. So I guess the question is how do you square that circle? How do you square that circle between what you're looking to achieve and the challenges that are big? And they're, the challenges of your resources, your infrastructure, and all these things. So what kinds of, and here I am again on the strategic side, what kinds of choices do you make of how you use the funds you have? As I said yesterday, we all complain about lack of resources. We might do that in our homes, about our shopping and what we're going to buy or whatever. I did it as a vice president over my areas, running a faculty and running the research side. You do it as a government. So it's all the same issues, except we're at a different level, arguably, in society. And so the question is, what are those choices? Do we, as I said, focus and put all our money in a few? Or do we try to ensure a greater spread across the entire country? Do we highlight, or can we grow niche areas of excellence, both at an institutional and at a national level? I mean, it's a really difficult thing to do on the research side. I mean, it's really hard to say, we're going to focus in these 3 or 4 areas, and then everyone else feels left out. So you can't, you need to have, it's not really a matter of, in my sense, it's not really a question of disappointing people. It's also, you need a body of new ideas coming up that form the basis of your society. So it is a balance. But how do you strike that balance? Some countries, I mean, if you look at and some institutions, and these are very strategic choices, both at an institutional and at a government level, you look at mergers. You look at what they have done recently in France, started with President Sarkozy quite a number of years ago, and where they encouraged, not forced, encouraged mergers between institutions. And the big merger was Paris-Saclay outside of Paris, where there was a big merger between quite a large number of institutions, universities and grandes écoles and others. And they have, if your objective is simply doing well in the rankings, they have done well. Having said that, they were all most of them were quite powerful universities in themselves. But many countries are looking at greater collaboration between institutions. And that is not just collaboration with the community, with enterprise, with business, but collaboration between institutions. So in the Irish case, we've had collaboration is a key criteria for national research funding. The European Union has encouraged collaboration through the European University Initiative, and there's a lot of that. We've also encouraged mergers to try and increase capacity and capability, I would say. It's not about help us get in the rankings. It's about improving capacity and capability that you can do. Large isn't always better. So, and mergers are not a simple answer. So I'm not going to sell you that that's an idea. I'm just telling you what other people have done. Mergers can be a generation to work through. Even if you're right across the road from each other, there's a culture that builds up in your institution that is very different than the other institution. They're used to these people. You're used to the way you work together, and merging with another group is really difficult. So these are not simple solutions. But I'm just telling you what some people have done in their systems and to try and look at how you might better use resources. But mergers are not a cheap option. People think, oh, we'll merge and we'll save a lot of money. Well, you might. You might over time. I talk about looking at what you might call back office facilities, sharing, finance, corporate development, stuff like that. You might share that. You might be able to offer better options. The European University Initiative is about joint degrees, new programs, things that you can't do. It allows you to specialize, someone else to specialize, and by working together your specializations, you can then offer something different. But these are all very tough strategic decisions. They're not simple ones, but some people have, look at the University of Manchester. It merged with what was called the UMIS, which was a University of Manchester Institute of Science and Technology, merged with the University of Manchester. Now, mind you, they had actually been together at one point in history and separated, and they've now come back together. Has that changed anything for them? No. Not in terms of rankings, but in terms of their capacity at a larger university with more capacity to do things. Yes. And in France, you've seen a lot of that where there were a lot of these smaller universities that had divided up according to disciplines. They've now come back together. So in Lyon and other places. So these are just options. But a lot of you mentioned the challenges. I think we have discussed it. I've tried to offer you a critical perspective, and that's why I said, what are you trying to achieve? And to what extent are the rankings going to help you achieve that? And those are strategic questions you need to balance. You need to decide, because the cost of chasing rankings is high. You may be successful, but it's high. And everyone else is chasing the same issues. And you've all set up units to look at that. You might, as I said, consider reframing that as a strategic data center. Your institutional research is one way of calling it. It's about institutional research means it's your own research. You're not a research unit. You're just collecting your own data, or data that is important for you strategically. That's all that means. So they set up units like that, strategic policy units, of which you may have a subset or a group of people within that who might look at rankings, or might look at benchmarking, or might look at other initiatives, but as part of a wider strategic approach to it. And so, and the last thing I'll say in the type of discussion is that paper, and I have our indicators that you might have a look. And then, so the issue I mentioned several times is ensuring that what you're measuring, whether it's related to the rankings or any form of targets and assessment, make sure that they're meaningful measurements. And they're not just what's available. Oh, we have data on this, let's count it. So it is really hard to find things to work out what's meaningful and meaningful for your purpose. So you want to improve the quality of your teaching staff. I mean, one way to look at it is the quality of your teachers is the key determinant of the quality of your education. Whether it's primary school or secondary or higher, it's the quality of the people. Now, what does that mean? You have different needs. Technical institutions, I came from one, I've worked in one. My institution is called the Technological University of Dublin. To some extent, we also want, depending on the field, we want people who have worked, know something about the field, and then have all the teaching and research capability as well. That's a hard order to get all that. But it depends on what you want to define, but it's the quality of your teachers. You have ongoing continuous professional development. Do you have requirements around teaching and learning? Are you looking at more innovative pedagogical methods? Or are you still doing the teacher in front of the class telling people facts that they can basically learn off the internet? How is AI going to help you, not just be a problem? So how are you building up the capacity of your teaching staff to the best of their ability? And those issues are really important to think about. So just to think, what is it that what you're looking to accomplish, and how are you doing that? And will rankings help you? And always think of the unintended consequences. We'll reward people who are doing well, who have published in the right papers, lots of in the right journals, lots of universities or lots of governments do that. What's the impact on everyone else? Do they get demotivated? Do they feel that they're not part of the issue? If they're now relegated and said, well, you can't do research and not publishing, we're going to relegate you to teaching. Well, what does this mean about the quality of teaching? Is it seen as a lesser thing? So just think through the implications. Anyways, at this, I'm going to stop and ask you all for your comments and questions or thoughts on any of the issues that we have discussed. And that goes for yourselves online. Any questions, comments? The floor is yours.
So, do you personally think rankings should be a benchmark for universities to grow more? Or we should do our best to achieve our general goals in education, and then we can assess that as the same way like we do in standardized testing?
Yes.
So the
latter.
yes.
Yeah. I think that they're on the basis of what they measure. And you could say, in fairness, there is no international comparative data. There isn't a big international database out there that you can compare, look at. So rankings emerge, and the only stuff that arguably is international is some of the research data.
So
that's it. Then they came up with doing surveys. But as you see in that paper I have on indicators, there's a huge literature, and it's important to understand that the indicators, there is an academic literature behind the pluses and minuses of the indicators. The papers arranged in not as you would think them by there's a section on research, there's a section on engagement, but the others are entry criteria and other kinds of things. So there is it's not like everything is neutral. There is a debate about the quality of them. So they do measure research. They started surveys because there wasn't enough, but who are they surveying? So they send out a survey to academics. So I get these letters, okay? And which are the best universities that you know? I only know the ones I know. I don't know if your university is the best. I haven't, if I could say, I haven't, I'm not trying to be negative, but I haven't heard of your university before. It might be the absolute best in this country for what you're teaching and the outcomes, but I don't know them. So it's called self-revelation. I'm only referring to those that I already know. Or they ask students, and student opinions vary. And there's a whole literature on the difficulties of dealing with student surveys, whether it's a national survey, and often they come across as student satisfaction surveys. So are you happy with this? Of course. Problematic, all these things, because students also know, as the evidence is that if I say that I'm unsatisfied with my university, then it will get a bad score. And the bad score, well, that might be great. I don't like those people anyway. But the bad score could impact my employment opportunities. So I don't really want to say that, do I? And there's a very interesting, what's called the National Survey of Student Engagement that has been developed in the US. It's voluntary. Varying countries have variations on that. Ireland has one, Australia, Korea, there's a range of, I don't know, I forget, about 10 different countries. It asks more extensive type questions, but it's not a ranking. It's meant to help you inform your teaching. How much, and try and get at the issues of critical thinking. Are you just going in the class and remembering facts, or are you engaged in discussion and using the knowledge you have? So that's a student survey. And then we have the employer survey. So where does that go? It goes mainly to the large international multinationals. But our countries, certainly in Ireland, 90% of the employers are SMEs, small and medium sized, and in the Irish case, they're micro. They're not participating in these surveys. So that's the problem with the choice of indicators that they have. Now I get it. they don't have any other ones. So they've tried to come up with things. And it doesn't change much. The order doesn't change. And if you move up, someone else is moving down. So, and the order does not move up. Also remember, there are 21,000 universities listed on the IAU, that's the International Association of Universities website. They have an IAU, I forget now the complete title of it, but they list, and these are universities recognized and accredited and recognized by their governments. So that's the cutoff for them, but there's 21,000 of them. Being 1,500 out of 21,000 is pretty good. You know, being 500. My former institution is what I think is about 800 or 900, who knows? But you're at the top 5%. That's pretty good. You know, so you need to put that into proportion as to what you're trying to achieve and see the bigger picture, and whether or not, as I asked the question that we asked always in the OECD, have you costed your ambition? In terms not just of the money, obviously money is a big thing, but overarching. So I went a bit more than your question.
No, it was a perfect answer, thank you.
Okay.
Because when you look at the predictors of the QS ranking, so for the education quality, I guess there is around 10 or 20% of the overall score, which I believe is pretty much lower than it's supposed to be. There is a lot like the campus research outputs and more. So from our experience, the university is stressing on too much, let's say, the research now. So they are loading the teachers with responsibilities which the professors should be publishing at least a couple of papers and thesis per academic year, which I believe is hindering the teaching quality. And so this is a perfectly good goal for marketing. It's a team, but I think in terms of the academic excellence, it's a little bit negative.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge debate about that. It's also, it's important that there are different types of institutions, what we would call diversity of means. And depending on the country, you may decide that you want to have at least 2 or 3 or 1 big research university. And you're going to put money into it for that. But you need to ensure, and that's a good goal, that's fine. But you need to put money into it to make sure that you've got the rest of your system that can feed into it. And that can provide that. And I use the term that I see the education system by and large, and certainly then in the higher ed, as part of your key infrastructure. It's like your electricity grid. It's like your train system that feeds into all your regions. Leaving regions behind is a big issue, and we see increasingly inequality is greater within countries than between. We're back to this within versus between model. You know, that kind of thing, and that there's increasing inequalities within countries because some of it has to do with internal mobility. People move to cities. I'm an urban person. I grew up in Chicago. I now live in Dublin. My daughters, one lives in New York, the other is in London. I'm an urban person. But what happens is that urban areas suck out of your regions, and you need to be very careful in your policy development that you have the basis of retaining capacity across your countries. And those are other tough decisions as how you do that. So those kinds of issues, they all come to the fore. So education, I would say, can't be seen separately from your other socioeconomic goals. It's a key part of your society and a key part of all your policy decisions. So how you make decisions on this has a bigger, will it help you attract more inward investment? Will it help you attract and retain graduates? If you've got everyone coming in, into one area, what will its impact be on the rest of the country and the educational system? Will you could fly in loads of people. The Saudis have done that at KAUST. They set up, the University of Science and Technology outside Jeddah. And it's quite outside Jeddah. It's separate, so it's slightly different. The culture of it is different, and they poured a lot of money into it. But they have found it very hard to get people to stay there. And they have run into serious trouble with, on the citation stuff by recruiting people who actually are employed or naming people who actually are employed elsewhere. And you can't use citations twice. You can't assign them twice, and they've come up with a lot of difficulties and been exposed on that side. But can you do innovation in isolation? I don't know if you can. So there's a lot of issues around that. So, sorry, I'm going on. Other questions, anyone? Sure.
How can institutions ensure that they are choosing the right benchmarks for meaningful?
Yeah, always tricky. People do look at rankings and say, right, who's 5 or 10 above us or below us? Look at UMultirank that does that. Look at this new data coming out from the EU Observatory. Look around and find institutions that are similar to you. And also ensure that there's some ambition in there. So you're not just looking at institutions who are just kind of doing the same thing and a bit tired and so on, but some ambition. Or don't look at them by university to university, look at sections. We want to look at internationalization. Who's doing really interesting things? Who's doing interesting things in their STEM area? Who's doing interesting stuff in entrepreneurship? Who's doing interesting things in learner engagement? Easier to do and more significant because institutions as a whole are very difficult to compare. Context is always a factor, but look at areas where people are doing interesting things. So how do you find that? Well, there are lots of conferences around, always to be careful. Depends on what type of institutions you are or what types of events you go to, but there's a lot of issues on the student experience, quality assurance. I stress quality assurance and having a good quality assurance system, not just nationally, but within your institution that you're monitoring. So if you're concerned about employability and learning outcomes, do you have an advisory board or an advisory council either for each department or for the university as a whole with external stakeholders on it? Not just employers, but maybe the public sector, your government. I don't mean government as government, but someone from the public sector as an employer, and the NGO sector and your community. Have people on there who can come back and do foresight and help you do foresight. Are the kinds of programs they're offering relevant for graduates in 10 years? In 15 years, do foresight, because your graduates coming in today, by the time they apply, you enroll them and they graduate, you're talking years down the road. The economy may have changed. And technology is changing very rapidly. Ireland goes boom and bust So you bring in all these students and they come out and there's a crash. So, you can't deal with that. Now we don't have enough people. So, yeah, take your place apart and look at benchmark by areas more so than by institutions. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your presentation and for your thoughts. And it's not a question, but I just wanted to make a small feedback. As you mentioned that we're going to have the discussion session after the presentation.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
this is-
so if you don't mind, I'm just like supporting your words in terms of foresight is very important. And we're living in the fourth normal times right now. If you read the Nassim Taleb's book, Unfragility or Black Swan, so everything is fragile and it's very difficult to predict the future. But at the same time, instead of waiting for the future, we can create the one which will suit us and will suit to the society, which is like a positive one. So the big responsibility every educator has got to do something which will be useful not only for its own university but for the society, because we are shaping the future of our country. And regarding the feedback in terms of the previous speaker's presentation, he mentioned that parents are encouraging to go to the top ranked university. With all respect, I don't agree with that because as a international marketer, I know the market very well, and especially local market. The thing is, 10 years before, yes, but now we're dealing with the Zoom generation. They're not the same like the one which is like millennials. They're the one who are like dictating and demanding what they want and what their future should be. So yes, there are students which are not quite sure which should be guided, but generation Zoomers generation, this generation is like totally different. So you just have to make to mind that first of all, you should know your audience, and you have to do in terms of that. And another thing is, I have noticed that a couple of times all the universities were proudly declaring that, like, we're using KPI, we're using KPI. That's great. I'm really happy for you, but do you know what is KPI? Just like briefly, can you say like what is that? Today is key performance indicator. Yeah, and what is that?
It shows the results of
Yeah, but like the main burden and the main responsibility and the difficulty and hassle of it goes to on the shoulders of employees. And Richard Branson said that you have to appreciate your employees, and you have to make sure that they don't want to leave their working place. And KPI is not bad, but KPI is not key performance indicators. KPI should be keep your people informed, involved, inspired, interested. So make sure that they know why they are tortured in the way that you do usually. You have to support them. If you pay attention, most of the teachers and educators, they're swapping the universities, they're leaving. Why they're leaving? Because of the environment which was created. Probably not healthy, probably not friendly, probably some other issues. You have to make sure that your best educators, best personnel is at your university, because without them you cannot reach your goals. And without appreciating students, you cannot reach your goal. So you have to make sure that it's not authoritarian governance should be. It should be horizontal one, the one which is like friendly, and there should be goals not oriented to ranking, but it should be oriented to the outcome. Make sure that your students will find proper job and will contribute to the development of the country. Yes, rankings are good, can be achieved. It should be a tool which will help to achieve the main goal, not the one which is like guiding you. Unfortunately, now I see a total different situation, and I would love to change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Just a final comment to me, because you raised an important issue about, which we haven't discussed and I haven't raised, is the role of students and student voice. So from the European Union's perspective, the student, and represented by the European Students' Union, is one of the key stakeholders in education. There should be students involved in advisory, on assessment review, on the governance structures. So the student voice is very important. And we're moving increasingly into an age in which what we call learner agency, where students were in a change and we refer to learner-centeredness, and increasingly learner agency is changing the way in which we organize our education and the way in which students may approach it as well, because of the fact that a lot of things are much more mobile. And I guess a final comment with regard to the global labor market, which we are all part of. It doesn't matter anymore whether you're living in a cabin up in the mountains or you're now in an urban environment. You are part of the global talent pool. And that's an important thing for all students and ourselves to realize how that's the case. Because you can increasingly, even in manufacturing, can be done online. Obviously, there are people looking over the machinery to some extent and repairing it, but a lot of the stuff in all sectors is increasingly online and will be. Any other comments just to conclude on this? I hope this has been a helpful discussion. Anyone online has any questions or comments, reflections? No one coming up? Oh, there's somebody, Tohu. Yes. Can we? We're just looking for you. Can you unmute yourself, please? Hello?
Sorry, I will listen. Who raised your hand? Yes, can you hear us?
Yes. Okay. Someone speaking. There, so he's got his, he or she has her hand up. Can you unmute your mic? Down at the bottom left?
Or you can chat.
Yeah, so you can chat.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
So, hello, good morning.
Hi.
We are from the State Institute, named after State Institute, Pedagogical Institute. We have listened to your discussion. We enjoyed from your discussion, and we have planned a lot of your comments. In the future, we took a note from your recommendations about the educational program in the future. So a lot of discussions have been done in our round table. So next future, we will use your methodologies, we will use your recommendations. So in our institute level, state level, our education system is developing about SDG by SDG goals. In our institute, we have a special department, environmental education, sustainable development. Thank you so much for your listening.
Thank you very much for participating. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I'll hand back to our hosts here. Thank you all very much.
They have the question, yes. So our expert, yes, he had the question.
Oh, sorry.
Dear Professor, thank you very much for the interesting and useful presentation. I would like to know that several times we mentioned that you mentioned also that we know now in the ranking agencies there is no such a good indicator which assess the quality of education. I wonder if you discuss this issue with the people who are managing or working in the ranking agency, if you met. This is the first question. Another question is related to international accreditation. As an expert on higher education, can you please tell us your opinion if we need international accreditation of the programs? Why? Because in each country, we have national accreditation agencies. Yeah, and nowadays we can see there are lots of some different international ranking agencies who are offering their services to audit or accredit the universities. Thank you.
Okay, so on the international accreditation, so all programs that are offered at all institutions, in my view, should be accredited at a national level. You should have a national quality assurance system. It's different than just a register. Many countries are setting up an accreditation system, and St. Kitts Nevis for UNESCO and the government there also on the same basis to ensure that there is a solid quality assurance system that involves continual review, not monitoring, but review, evaluation, review, and improvement, whole cycle of that, at least every 5 to 7 years. International accreditation of programs varies. So medically, there's the World Federation, the WFME, the World Federation of Medical Education. There's engineering, business, as you may know, as I think was mentioned, the AACSB, the ABA, and EQUIS operate on the business side of life. But for courses well, it depends. I mean, for languages, if the students are tested, there are multiples of language testing and so on. So international accreditation is important for some disciplines, some fields, but not all, because they don't exist. I mean, how are you going to accredit history? How might you accredit, certainly the medical and health professionals there tends to be, law, there is often that, Within the EU, there are certain regulations. But even at that level, countries, individual countries within the EU have their own requirements, let's say, about some of these areas. Law is a good one. Accountancy, someone mentioned ACCA. There's several international accounting groups. ACCA is a professional accreditation for people who might have done business and finance and now want to do accountancy. I work with the ACCA in Greece, and we're developing an apprenticeship in accountancy. So the practice of being a recognized accountant, a degree in business and finance isn't enough. You need a professional accreditation in it because it travels. But as I say, within federal systems, the EU is a federal system. Within the US, if you move from New York to California, you'll have to do a different law exam to practice. So there are certain things like that, but it is for in the main specific fields in the main. With regard to your first question about nothing on teaching and learning, well, they've tried to come up with stuff. They've done these things around staff-student ratios, meaningless. It's not the numbers, it's what you do. They've tried to do things on student surveys, or they times came up with something where they asked peers to assess whether or not someone is the quality of teaching is good. I haven't a clue. How do I know? And he's done research, I can read your paper. But I haven't a clue if you're any good in the classroom or any good with your students. I haven't an absolute iota. Do I have any idea? So they've also come up with varying things about learning outcomes. So we look at employability, and we had graduate surveys, graduate outcomes. Either some countries in Ireland it's done after 9 months, which is a bit short. And it only says, are you in employment, not in employment, or studying? It's kind of not particularly meaningful. Some countries has gone so far as to measure salary levels, but that doesn't tell us a lot either. Salary is very dependent on the context, on the market, the labor market in your area. You may do your degree in Tashkent, but move to another area of the country and where it has a much lower standard of living. That's normal. So it's very difficult. I get that. Governments are doing those sorts of things as well. They're also trying to track people over time with their either social security or their tax level. So you've got this tracking over time. How well has someone done when they're 30 and 40? And that's more information as opposed to a comment on it. But it's the data that's used, it's got all kinds of drawbacks. But you also have to understand when I talk about things about indicators, we also have to realize there's nothing perfect. So as long as we have to deal with some of the kinds of things we have to deal with and understand the limitations and shortcomings of what we're looking at, fine. But if we take it as gospel, then we're in trouble. Well, very much.
So, thank you so much for our executive expert. You were our guide for complexities of all global rankings. And within over like in 2 days, I think we have gained so many information about methodologies of global rankings, type of assessment, advantage, disadvantage, what exactly we should do, what exactly we shouldn't do, yes? And all in all, we can say that global rankings, especially metrics, is difficult phenomenon, yes? It can be really right thing to evaluate, but it can be vice versa as well. It can be subjective in some cases.
And they're here to stay. You have to realize they're a thing. Yeah.
And so, especially in competition between universities, is it correct to have, in some cases, inflated results? Or let's say, it helps us to be in the framework of progress. So here, coin has two sides. There are many advantages and disadvantages as well. And in some cases, disadvantages outweigh advantages, and it can be vice versa. So I think such interesting thoughts we have like over 2 days, and we really appreciate your contribution. And thank you so much. And firstly, I also would like to express our gratitude to participants that you are here with us, because it shows that you are not. It shows you're not in different attitude. Yeah. So what is going on? What kind of what about some reforms? Yes, and it shows your attitude as well. And so, firstly, we would like to give you some certificates of participation and appreciation. Then there will be the other part as well. So, if you do not mind, Ellen. You also first of all, benefit certificate. So participant does. So Kamala Hakimova. Yes. So. The only one. Karim Shahzod. Shahzod. Yes. Olma bir salonu var. I feel yes. I feel that's right. So in our meeting, we have representative from stream, head of division, which is entitled International and National Rankings. Zior Umar Karşanlıç.
It was a pleasure to have a two-day seminar. Of course, I would like to say special thanks to our expert, Professor Ellen, who shared with us, I think, most important insights about rankings. I'm sure that all of us have gained something new for us. I think that this seminar is a start of our journey as a new type of educational experts. And now we will revise and rethink about our strategies and act according to your advices and continue our strategic development of this sector. I also want to thank Erasmus Plus Office in Uzbekistan. I want to thank our host today, and it was a pleasure to have this seminar. I hope this is not last seminar. We will always love to invite you one more time to visit Uzbekistan and conduct such kind of seminars and lectures for us. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
For participating as well, so head of the National Erasmus Office in Uzbekistan.
So, I would like to congratulate everybody here for gaining such experience. Really happy to have you, Professor and for being with us today. I really appreciate that the ministry, the right person for the topic of this technical assistance is with us today. Theodore Karşanlıç. I really appreciate it. And the most important is that we've been provided with a very comfortable condition by the host university. everything was on excellent level. So thank you very much. And again, come to the most important is economy. But from the community, I know the most frequently used word was politics, not rent, but politics. And I really appreciate this today raised the issue, the importance of students. The students in Europe, they are really the strong force. Without them, no decision could be made. But we hope that this is coming also to our higher education community. And I would like to underline that this is the presidency. They have already discussed with Arshanovich that they will follow up activities, several follow-up activities. And again, thank you very much for all of this, for your active, really proactive positions and discussions, inspiring attitude. So thank you very much, and I hope that such a seminars will be repeated several times. Please follow our National Erasmus Plus calendar, which is regularly updated on our website. You are invited to any event, so events are open to everybody. Just register. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So this is the recognition of Professor Dr. Hazipur in recognition of her outstanding contribution as a guest speaker at the Polish School Seminar Strategies for Higher Educational Institutions, Selling in International Rankings. And exactly your insightful lectures on strategies for higher education institutions to upgrade international rankings provided both practical guidance and deep expertise, significantly enriching the event. Thank you so much. Thank you. A small gift, and if you do not mind, we will open it and kind of. Wow. Oh, wow. Okay, this is Jesus. Especially in order to
I'm really delighted, and I'm now 2 days of touring. But thank you so much. Really, the conversation, the people, the host, the whole Erasmus Plus scenario, the ministry. Thank you, and thank everyone, including those online. It's really hard to stay and tune online. I've tried myself. It's really hard to do so. So thank you very much. And yeah, do keep up the discussions. I've tried to promote that, and we've got a lot of other conversations coming. And yeah, good to always engage and have new discussions. Thank you.
It already became our tradition that I have to notes.
One more moment, yes.
Yes, because I should also thank our online participants and our regional partners. So we started with the 4 partners yesterday from Uzbekistan, from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, and Tajikistan. And we are still having the representative of Tajikistan and Turkmenistan with us. Thank you very much for your participation. And again, so we could consider this as a regional, the initial seminar, the target assistance to the modernization agenda in our region. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So while everyone is happy, so we would like to evaluate.
One announcement, yes. Except our international great expert, we have our national experts as well, who will give a great speech. So,
Very interesting for you. Yeah, this is our prediction. When you look at this, you can definitely remember our perspective.
no. Okay, this certificate of recognition, as I mentioned, without participation of the organization, I think this event will not be on a large scale as we expected. That's why we really appreciate your presence and thank you. Love that you are here with us. Thank you very much. Okay, and then we have our higher education reform expert, from Jonathan. Finally, yeah. Thank you so much. Our last expert, Antonio Mascala, from Technical University. In one collective.
Yes, dear participants, on behalf of National Erasmus Office, we are happy to see you again. And as a tradition, in each event, we will evaluate a session. While everyone's happy, so I think that we will receive the positive feedback regarding the TAM seminar. So please scan the QR code. Now the manager will show the QR code, and this will be the final one. Just select the second date. Yeah.
Yeah. There's somebody with his hand up.
Rising hand.
From Turkmenistan.
Yes.
Can we hear what he wants to ask a question? Okay. No rush, no rush. No one, your turn. Just. Oh, sorry. Oh, my goodness.
Thank you all very much. All the help. Thank you.
Okay, so photo will be in the budget. Yes.
Yeah.